It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm always waking up at very random times of day. Don't mind the noise. It's like snowing outside, so it's windy and all that stuff. But I woke up with this on my brain, on my mind. Should I turn my light on? I like the vibe with the light off. Seems like I'm always wearing a sweater, but I'm such an outfit repeater. And I've also lost 85 pounds. So a lot of my clothes don't fit me anymore. And I literally need brand new clothes. So I am working on getting myself a whole new wardrobe as a gift to myself for sticking to my fitness goals, my fitness plan, and all those type things. But I got on here to talk about how I am in the waiting room. I have been working on quantum leaping and bringing my new life into fruition and feeling, my new life is here. I'm in my new timeline. And it's November 10th. This year, I have been self-employed this whole year. It's my first full-time year. I've always wanted to work for myself. My dream was to be a digital nomad, an author, do music, stuff like that or whatever. But this year, I finally built up the stamina to stay disciplined on my path, because this is not the first time that I've quit a job and been like, oh no, fuck them, I work for myself. The job that I quit with the intention of never having to get another one. Third time, it feels like I have a good enough footing to do it or whatever, because I've built the discipline, I've experienced the pain of failing and falling short of my expectations of myself. Like, this has been a long road coming, and I finally feel myself stripping away everything that I don't want, baggage that I don't need, that I can't take, that I can't carry, right? And something that it doesn't pain me, it really don't pain me, but something that I'm noticing that I care about more than I used to is community, people around me. I'm an introvert, I'm a loner, I'm an Aries. It's nothing for me to be by myself. Like, I don't give no fuck. Actually, my default setting is to be alone. So it's rare to catch me in groups. It's rare to catch me linking up with people. It's just very rare. Even with my family, even with my immediate family, I'm that family member that is just never to be seen of, never to be heard of again. You don't know what I got going on, you don't know what I'm doing. I am that ghost family member that's, I love you, but I got my own stuff going on. I'm that person. And the older I get, the more I realize how big my purpose and assignment for this life feels. And it breaks my heart that I'm an Aries, I'm hyper independent, and my dream is going to require some collaboration. My dream is going to require some community around me. But if I've been conditioned to only depend on myself, rely on myself, do everything by myself, that kind of leaves me stunted. This is this is like very, 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 a very deep ass wound, hyper independence wound that I have as an eldest daughter, and just as an Aries, just in my nature to lead myself. I don't really look for guidance for real. Like, I don't want to say impulsive, but like, I guess you could say I'm a little impulsive, but the older I get, the more calculated the impulse is. When I was younger, like, my impulse was not calculated out at all by any means, but I think about stuff before I do it now. There's more at stake when I do stuff now. But I say all that to say, I'm in the waiting room, and I am in this period of isolation where the people from my old, let me say this first as well. I'm the type of person that I will quit a job and not tell nobody but HR. I'm that person that's like cold ghost quitter. Like, I will submit my 2-week notice to HR, have my plan already set, and not tell nobody, because I am just so used to people thinking and dreaming so small, and I can't stand it. It's such a pet peeve of mine. You are God's creation. You are made in God's image, and God created this life and had the expectation of us to live and experience it abundantly, and to be creative and to create. And you have the audacity to think so small. Like, that is like beyond me. Like, it actually upsets me so much. It pisses me off so much. And I say this to say, I've been isolated this year. I feel like having to like go back to a point and then fast forward. But this year, I've been isolated. I've been working on myself. I've been like, learning neuroscience, and I'm in school, and I'm finishing up my degree and all of that good stuff. And when you're in isolation, it's very easy for you to saturate uninterrupted. It's very easy for you to settle into whatever belief you want to believe uninterrupted. So that has been my blessing for this year. And I linked up with a friend yesterday that I used to work with or whatever. And she was really cool outside of work. It's honestly, I want to say, one of the few people that I'm like, okay, like, I could see me being cool with her outside of work. And so we still in contact with each other. And it's been almost a year since I quit that job. So that's, that's a testament to the connection and the relationship or whatever. But I think when I hung out with her, it made me realize I've truly bridged myself over. And I don't say this to be, oh, I'm holier than thou, my shit don't stink, I'm stuck up, I think I'm better than everybody else. It's such a pet peeve that I have to explain this every time that I discuss this, and it just further drives my point home that I'm in the waiting room and I have yet to bridge over and meet the people that I don't have to explain this stuff to. Yesterday, we went out and we had a really good time. We went to the Balloon Museum. They bustin'. Say what? And everything. And me and this friend, a really big reason why we hit it off is because, first of all, we thought we were going to go to nursing school, and that just didn't happen for either one of us, because every time we linked up to study for the T's, like, we ended up canceling on each other, because in our heart, in our spirit, in our soul, we really didn't want to do that. So we were making excuses for it, okay, right? And every time, I swear to God, the first time we actually linked up out of all of the failed link ups for the traditional, the nursing, whatever, no shade, but when you know yourself, just know yourself, right? And so the first time we actually officially linked up was something that I was passionate about, something creative that I wanted to show up for, which was basically what was it called? It's basically a listening party for an artist or whatever. That's the first time we actually linked up. That's the first time I actually expressed to her what I actually want to do. That is the first time that she's, businesses. And then ever since then, every link up that we planned after that, we always made without fail. Every time we link up, we talking about business. Every time we link up, we talking about some type of investment. I like people that are like entrepreneurial, investment, business minded, because that is me through and through. Not afraid to take a risk and to bet on myself. But I say this to say, I'm in such a sensitive time that I don't really have the energy to donate. I don't have the energy to allow to link out of myself. If you don't believe in yourself, that's your business. If you don't know how to do it, you need to figure it out. And as an eldest daughter, you are parentified, like, expected to figure it out. You are the third parent. I've been a third parent for a very long time, so I have a certain level of maturity, resilience, capacity to just deal with stuff. I have a very high level of problem solving, a very high level of self-belief. Being around people that don't have it is exhausting. As much as I love them, it is exhausting, and I cannot afford right now to be around that because I am in a completely different headspace. Wake up thinking about what I want to do, what I need to do. I don't wake up thinking, I say this because we were hanging out, we went to the Balloon Museum, and afterwards we were like chilling at her place, or even when before we were chilling at her place, just talking about business, and I'm asking her because she had some real estate stuff that she wanted to do. She has, her own ideas. She has her own ideas and goals of success or whatever. And I was asking her about them because we, mutual exchange. Time we link up, we talking about this stuff. And she's like, well, I just don't know what I want to do. And I just don't know. And I just don't know. And I completely have compassion for not knowing. I completely understand what it feels like to not know. I get it. But the only way to get out of that is to decide, I am figuring this shit out. I am picking something. I am doing something. And I also acknowledge everyone's life set of cards sets them up differently. To, some people know who they are when they're 7 years old. Some people don't find out who they are until the end of their life. I cannot make too much space for people that don't know who they are, because my energy, I'm such a passionate person. I swear to God, like, there is no person on this earth that can say that I have doubted, spoke down on a dream. Anytime someone comes to me with a dream or some level of self-belief, I try to amplify it because it is so rare, and it's something that I do all the time without question, without doubt, and it just pisses me off when people don't have that. What do you mean you don't believe in yourself? That's all you even need to do. Believing in yourself is half the fucking battle. Once you do that, the victory is damn near already won when you believe in yourself. And when people, me feeling mentor and coach people into self-belief, I am not mentoring and coaching people into self-belief, not for free no more. Doing that. I don't care who you are, mom, sister, brother, cousin. I'm not doing that. I have so much self-belief, and you would think that I have proof, tangible proof, and I don't even exactly have tangible proof of my dreams. I just wake up every day with it on my mind. I wake up every day and I see it and I feel it and I believe it in my heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And I say that to say I am in the waiting room, and being in this waiting room is so frustrating because I still find myself engaging in conversations like that, or engaging in energy like that. I want to be people that are already there. And that goes back to my community point. Is I don't want to disregard the community of people that I've built over time, because that's disrespectful. That's ugly. That's so not graceful to disregard people and be fuck you, I'm on a completely different path, a journey of life. I didn't want someone to do that to me, so I don't do that to people. But I'm definitely in the bridge where I have to make new friends. I have to make new connections. I have to develop the collaborative bones in my body, because my dream is too big for me to carry on my own, and I cannot lean on, I cannot expect people from my past life or people that don't have direction or self-belief to be a part of this process. I don't want them to be a part of this process. So mean to say, but I'm being so dead ass serious. If you are lost, if you are confused, if you don't know what's going on, if you need help, you cannot be a part of the process of what I have going on. In school, I always take it back to school. In school, we all are in these grades. Okay, you're in first grade, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way up to high school, college, PhD, whatever. Everything is so separated. Once you become an adult, there is no separation. We're all the same person. We're all in the same pool. It flips, and I feel I'm on a completely different level of like consciousness and awareness than a lot of the world is, and it is very isolating, and it's scary to trust that there are people out there that are the perfect people for my vision, that are the perfect people for me to collaborate with. And it hurts my feelings that the people that I do love and do appreciate, like, they may not be able to come. They may not be able to be a part of that process. I'll put an example. Like, she was talking about business ideas. She's like, oh, I just don't know myself. I just don't know what's going on, and woo, woo, woo. And I understand, like I said, everyone has different levels, is experiencing different levels of consciousness and different applications of that consciousness. And I do waver sometimes in my consciousness, but that does not change the fact that I still exist and I still have a certain level of consciousness that I am aware of, that I always come back up to. I might step two steps back, but I'm going 3 forward, 1 back, 1 forward. Like, I'm still always moving forward. Like, don't allow the world, this reality, what is projected onto us, I don't allow that stuff to stick to me, because I exist in my own bubble, in my own reality, and I'm trying to find people that understand this bubble and this reality and have actualized it already, so that they can help me. I need help. Like, that is so hard to admit, but I need help. But anyways, back to my last little point that I was going to mention about this friend. And this is no shade to this friend. Like, I love this friend. I don't want to part ways from this friend, but some friends you just have to isolate from until, you know, things get back on the same playing field. Like, she's like, oh, I don't know what I want to do, and they saying that we have to do stuff with AI. Okay, AI shit or whatever. Okay, cool. But what do you love? What do you care about? Because I'm a firm believer that the things that you love and care about are the desires of your heart for a reason. You are made in the image and creation of God. God gave you that dream. That is your dream. That is your assignment. That is your purpose. That is what you're supposed to do with your life. That is my belief, right? Everyone does not believe that. Okay, whatever, cool. And I know that she likes travel, so I suggested that she do a traveling business, or something travel oriented, something travel and AI oriented, if you really want to incorporate the AI stuff. Long story short, I ended up telling her, and when I tell you, this was like off the dome. Like, it is so easy for me to come up with ideas. It's so easy, and it's easy for me to like come up with ideas, do it, okay, that didn't work, next thing, do it, that didn't work, okay, next. This is me, right? And so I'm telling you, love travel, why don't you design your own like travel brand, like toiletry bags, like suitcases, invest in like designing some type of premium travel bag, since you know you're so passionate about travel. And then she also tends to attract higher ticket like people. She attracts more premium type people into her life anyway, right? People that know people that have money. I can see it. Like, she attracts this type of stuff into her life, right? And she immediately, they said, well, what if people stop traveling? No one's ever gonna stop like, what are you talking about? No one's ever. And I told her, why would you say that? We humans will never cease to travel. How we travel will change, but we will never cease to travel. Not long enough to, you can't move. Someone's not gonna ever need a suitcase again. It's 2025. It's gonna be 2026. What do you? What the hell do you mean? What if people stop traveling because of the government shutdown and woo woo and all of this stuff? Like, just too aware, curated reality of what they want us to know and see and understand, to keep us scared, to keep us limited. I really try to not speak too esoterically or too woo woo because it's gotten me in trouble. I keep myself in check, okay? But I told her, I said, people will never cease to travel. How we travel will change, but we're always going to need to travel. So I don't know what that looks like, but you know, whatever, cool. So I ended up leaving her place. I'm back at home. I'm chilling. I'm doing my stuff, whatever. And she texts me and she's like, hey, I put the idea that you mentioned into chat. And it actually said that it was a good idea. And I was, see, told you. I don't know why y'all need Chat GPT to affirm something that y'all already know is true, to affirm what already is. But that's neither here nor there. Like, that ain't none of my business, right? And I said, she was like, oh my God, like, this works, so nervous. And I'm, this is the whole point. Like, I'm just existing on a level of consciousness. And I'm not saying my shit don't stink. I'm not saying that I'm holier than thou. I just have a certain level of belief and consciousness that I live and exist in that is unwavering. And being around people that don't believe it and don't see it, that like, but don't fully believe it, it is like, why am I still in this waiting room? Why am I still small talking? And why am I still feeling coaching and mentoring people? Like, I'm supposed to be over here. Why is it so hard for me to fully like bridge over and feel good enough for these new people? That's what the issue is. Like, I still, for whatever reason, like, don't feel good enough to meet and be around new people, but I do feel confident and solid enough in myself to exist in my new reality by myself. But I haven't invited any new experiences with new people yet. That is the solution. I just found it through talking. But I'm gonna insert the screenshot. And she was like, I was like, what did I say? I said, see, there's nothing to be nervous about. She was, God, I'm so nervous. This actually works. Like, this is actually such a good idea. And she was like, rich is crazy. Rich is the new normal. And it's just so casual to me. I've always felt this. Like, I genuinely believe that I'm a millionaire. Not a millionaire, a billionaire. Like, I genuinely believe that I have the consciousness, I have the self-belief and level of consciousness required to catapult myself to billionaire status. So when I see certain numbers, people might say I'm insensitive or whatever the case may be. I think on like a macro fucking level, okay? I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I love you. I care about you. I pray that you take off with that business model and all that stuff. I do not have the time to do these step by step. Like, the people that understand what I'm saying are gonna completely resonate with what I'm saying. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I don't even know how you found this video. I say all that to say I probably would have been an extrovert if I grew up in an environment and in a world that supported excellence, that supported self-belief, that rewarded people for believing in themselves, that rewarded people for actually living in a purpose and in a assignment, not once it's fully actualized, even when they first realize it, even when they're on their way. Like, I probably would have, and that have gone through that journey, like, I would have been an extrovert. Like, I do think that, like, I'm such a loner and I'm such an introvert because of this, because I don't have the time, I don't have the energy to constantly being this like therapist mule, advice mule, mentor mule. Like, I don't have it in me to do that anymore, and it's wasted so much of my time, so much of my 20s, pouring into people. Like, it's just like pouring into nothing. Pouring into people, like, people appreciate it, but it doesn't go anywhere. You honestly have to say fuck people and leave them where they're at and have them see you go so far away that it kind of is a mind fuck that forces them into a different level of consciousness. Is what I'm having to do, and it's just kind of crazy, but it's 4 a.m. and I just woke up with that on my mind. And I have to reiterate, like, I know I'm not perfect. I know my shit stink. I hate that I have to constantly acknowledge that. Again, if the world supported excellence, if the world supported the actual level of consciousness that we're supposed to will be living on if the world actually taught us the stuff that we should know so that we can actively apply this and move and evolve as a society instead of trying to figure out how to make some money to pay a fucking rent bill, phone bill, whatever bill. I would be an extrovert, but the world is not built for the vision that I see. The world is not, the system is not built for it. And I'm one of the rare, one of the weird ones, one of the different ones that saw through it and can see through it so clearly that I don't know how y'all are still understanding. I don't know how y'all still believe in this. One thing I will say is 2025, the veil has never been this thin. I've known all of the stuff that people are like finally talking about and finally realize I've known this shit for a long time. Which is why it feels like I'm so ahead in my consciousness, in my understanding of reality, and my ability to apply it without fear. Let me not say that. Let me say that I think people are aware. There's just a certain level of fear that is taking precedent over faith that people need to read to flip. But I probably would have been an extrovert if the world was how it was supposed to be. Yeah.